grunts. They're starting to get shaman out. You know, his Archmage is only level 1. I mean, so that's not even going to be very durable. Water Metals will just die to 1 purge in about 5 hits. So that's not even important there. But meanwhile, I think what you should do at Tier 2 is maybe put up an expansion and start massing casters, because casters are a really, really good counter to Orc, and an expansion right at Tier 2 means that he's got a level 1 Tauren Chieftain, which does a jack. He doesn't have enough water metals to really purge away your whole army. You should be fine. And an additional small little point for anyone who makes casters is make a caster, then get the training, because you get the caster first and he starts regenerating mana. It's just useful. Anyway, onto the battle at hand. You can see Chain Lightning and Shockwave doing some pretty good damage, but the fact that they're both level 1 means he's only killed, 2 foots. Okay, fine, you've killed 2 foots. You've also burned away about 440 collective mana on your heroes.
And now,
meanwhile, your whole army's slowed, and they're running away.
Now, Swain can just use that regeneration scroll, and he's pretty much just wasted all his mana. And I think that this battle right here is a really bad one for Focus, as he has no mana on his heroes, and you need mana on your heroes as Orc to win this. I mean, your grunts, they do jack shit. They're slowed. All they do is usually they serve a tanking purpose. And right now, I wouldn't be fighting this battle as Focus. I definitely TP right here because my heroes have no mana, and I need level 3 on my TC for that level 2 wave.
Yeah. And additionally, what Swain has done, well, first of all, he's timed his Stormbolt to be able to get that TC kill. And now that was really lucky, though, because he passed the TP and then still lost his hero. So this means that Focus cannot run away from the battle because he's slowed. He cannot TP away from the battle. So this really, I mean, it would have been a much closer game, but he got really unlucky in losing his TC. And I think that, it's obviously very unfortunate, and this would have been quite a bit different. But still, you can see that what Swain has done, though, in general, is he's kept his footmen alive for a long time, so he has, 6-7 footmen, and he's got this giant armada of priests and sorcerers behind him, which means the grunts are slowed, which means you can be guaranteed they're not going to get into the back lines. And as you notice, in the beginning of the battle, Swain ran away when he speed scrolled, right? Because he didn't want to get the grunts next to his casters, because once that happens, then it starts getting really hard to win. Because, you've got your casters dying very quickly, because they only have so many hit points, 325 on a Sork is not very much. And so, you don't want to get your casters focused, and then, once they burn their speed scroll, you just have Foots in front, tanking the slowed grunts, which is not a very good fight. You've got priests healing with Foots, and you've got Sorks doing a lot of damage to grunts. They're doing 20 to 24 damage. I mean, that's more than a rifleman does, practically. He's got ranged grunts, essentially, You look at the grunt damage, 21, 24. Sorks are doing that much, right back to him, but they're ranged and the grunts are slowed. So really, it's very important to make sure you've got your positioning. And, something sort of a quick little tip or whatever you want to call it, I got from Beef on a Steak, you might know for the forums, aka Plan B Glaive, was talking about that, he wouldn't be as good as he would be now if he was just playing on Euro. He said, he played on Azeroth for a long time, and that taught him to learn things other than just micro, because he has to play with a 2.5 delay. He learned, positioning, unit combos, tactics, all this, and just him mentioning unit positioning was something that was kind of new to me. I didn't realize that it really meant so much. But, I mean, when you've got Foots in the front against slowed grunts, there's no way that they're going to be able to knock out your back line. So it's very important that you have that. Meanwhile, you can see this battle going off, passing the TP to the MK preemptively because you know darn well it'll die if you're not careful. Anyway, High being imbalanced, then Collapse. I don't know why I really clapped and then just burn the TP. You didn't really have to, but... whatever.
I really got a question the Mash Shaman here. I mean, first of all, there's no Beastmaster, and his Archmage isn't even that high. He put up 2, I guess, because of the Expo, but still, those casters are just going to get owned by the other casters and the clap from the MK.
Spellbreakers.
Yeah, exactly. That too. Personally, I think I'd put up another barracks rather than a second Spirit Lodge to pump out more grunts, and maybe some catapults once you have a firm line of grunts. But I mean, without any front line here, I don't think Focus is going to be able to fend off an attack very well.
Yeah, I thought the Lightning Shield was pretty stupid. I have seen once, though, as Night Elf, I saw someone go Mass Shaman Grunt, and it was for Lightning Shield spam. But that was against Night Elf, when, they have sort of problems, mass dispelling. I mean, this is human, and they've got Dispel right on their priest, cost 75 mana, it's an AoE, they can dispel everything on their units. I mean, yeah, maybe they'll get, lightning shield on everything, right next to their grunts, and so that way you dispel their slow at the same time, but he hardly has any grunts, to dispel in the first place, so having 7 shaman is pretty freaking worthless.
Another thing right
so
here.
What? They don't do any damage.
With his TC, he probably could have gotten that to level 3, but he decided to keep his Farseer in there. That was a really stupid choice, because a level 3 TC is very important, like we were discussing earlier, and the Farseer still isn't even level 4, and it just sucked away EXP that the TC could have had. So if you're ever close to level 3 like that, make sure you level up your TC.
Yeah, definitely anyone can learn from the fact that you need to, not, suck up EXP. Anytime you're close to a level, you need to let that one hero get an EXP. It's a really stupid idea for Focus, because right here, I mean, if he had some level 2 Shockwave, you know full well he would have dominated a lot of these units. But, bad choice there. Also, in my opinion, if you're going against, and you can see this is Lightning Shield spam, but you can see right away he just dispels it. I mean, it's not that useful. And even still, now is, Shaman running out of mana, and they're all just dying right away. And yeah, he would have probably been doing better if, he hadn't lost that huge battle early on, losing a crap load of grunts. And then, later on having, level 2 Shockwave, plus Lightning Shield doing damage, plus Chain Lightning, plus Demo Splash. I mean, yes, he probably could have knocked out casters left and right, just instantly, but the fact that he lost around 15 food early on, just for practically nothing, that just completely turned the game. Otherwise, Focus's strat probably would have worked fairly well, because he could have kept recasting Lightning Shield, he could have kept a grunt front line up there protecting his shaman, and, then the demos would have started beating stuff up. But, the one mistake I think really pulled the game apart.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there.
So other than that, Swain played well.
Him losing the TC there and the TP really screwed him up. I mean, I think he just kind of got unlucky in that, maybe a bit of lag even, and he couldn't pop off that TP on his TC in time. I mean, had he done that, he had an Expo up, so that would have been a lot of help, and I think he might have been able to win that game if he hadn't made that mistake right there. And, well, also, yeah. I find this map definitely in the humans' favor, just because, first off, there's not many creeps, and like you're saying, it's really hard to get a hero to level 3, so your TC isn't going to be nearly as effective as it would on a bigger map. And also the MK, like you were saying, I also have to agree with you, level 4 and level 3 are great for the MK, and you should definitely power creep him over your Archmage, like, don't let your Archmage level up anymore, but on a map like this, level 1 MK is still better than a level 1 TC, by all means, because you're going to be able to kill grunts when his Shockwave and Chain Lightning, I mean, sure, it'll get a few units, but it's not going to be able to kill all the units, and like you saw in this replay, Regeneration Scroll just cancelled that whole effect that Focus had.
So I believe we can both agree, and all the viewers, that humans overpowered, and are the strongest race in the game.
Yeah, I don't know. Night Elf's pretty close to pretty damn imbalanced too. So
no, human, orc, elf, undead is the race order.
Alrighty,
Orc can tower elf. Human can mass gyro versus elf. Undead, well, I think undead can have an advantage over elf, but the fact that orc owns undead even harder than orc owns elf, I'll just put undead at the bottom. Alright,
I guess that's it. Yeah.
So ops are bad. D-Boss is a noob. And I guess go Mass Caster.
Later, guys.